and welcome back or to my channel. I'm Pippa and this is Calm Stitch Reads. This is actually my third attempt at filming this. The joys of filming with two children and a husband that won't give me 5 minutes to quickly do the intro. So this is my intro to my second vlog. I'm back in work this week after 2 weeks off for the holidays looking after my children, and I want to go easy on myself. I'm only new to this. I think this will be my third video and my second vlog. So I want to be kind to myself. So I thought this week, why not do an ARC reading vlog? Because I've been kindly sent 2 ARCs. I don't know if I get to them both this week, but I'm going to try them. I'm really in the mood for them as well. Now, the thing with ARCs, I'm wary sometimes. So I used to get a lot of ARCs. I started my Instagram account sort of 5-6 years ago, and I used to apply for lots. There was lots that I used to like the sound of, and I applied for everything, and I did get lots, and I have to admit I did get a bit overwhelmed. It's a lot sort of having to read on demand and then get the reviews out, support the authors. So that did lead to a bit of burnout for myself, and I took a break from Instagram for a couple of years. I've only just started dipping my toes back in this year and making videos as well, which I'm actually finding easier than taking loads of photos, organising reels. So we'll just see how this goes. So the first ARC that I've been kindly sent, I think it's due out in July, and it's on my Kindle, and it's this one here. I'll put a picture over the top, and it's Of Love and Cruelty by Tanya Longoria, and it sounds absolutely amazing. Because obviously all I know is the blurb, but I think it sounds brilliant. It's my cup of tea at the moment. So in a world where magic is punishable by death, Princess Emery finds herself hiding in the shadows, practicing the forbidden. Discovered by the traitor and exiled Lord Nikolai, she must trust the enemy to keep her alive. In turn, she finds herself falling in love with the one man she can never have. When her father arranges a marriage to keep the kingdom's peace, her heart is torn. 2 men as different as night and day, 2 sides of her that only one of them knows, and a new life far away from her home. As she comes to terms with her new life, the kingdom's fate once more falls into the hands of Nikolai. After her family is murdered by the man she used to love, she has to mask her rage and plans to bring the new queen down. Will she be able to avenge her family without losing her life? I mean, how good does that sound? And then we've been sent a lovely message by the author as well, just to say thank you. So it's the start of a trilogy. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and it's billed as a dark romance for an adult audience. So I'm definitely in the mood for a dark romance. And I'll just show you the first, isn't that the most gorgeous crown on the front cover there? So I'm really excited to get started on this one, and if I have time this week I'll read the other ARC, which is more of a contemporary book. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So I'm planning on taking my Kindle to work with me tomorrow to read at lunchtime, because I get technically an hour break. I don't always have the hour. It's more like half an hour, but I like to just read, decompress, and get myself ready for the afternoon. And this is what I'm looking forward to reading this week. We've had a lovely last day of the school holidays. We went to meet my parents, and my brother came down. We don't get to see him often because he lives about 3 hours away. And we went to a local nature reserve, which has a second-hand bookshop as well. So we had a nice little mooch around there. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything that I like the look of, but I did take some little clips. So they'll be going in now for you to have a little look at our lovely day in the sun. I'm feeling a bit red. I feel like I've caught the sun a bit. I catch the sun very, very easily and go a bit of a lobster, which is not really a good look, but hey ho. So I will check back in with you when I have an update. had my first day back at work after 2 weeks off, as you can imagine. It was all rather hectic, followed by roadworks on the way home, so it was quite late when I got home. So I'm now just making the most of the evening sunshine that we've got coming through the window, which is rather nice. I managed to read chapter 1 at lunchtime today, so the next chapter, chapter 2, so about 5% in. It's a traditional start. Emery, our princess, is quite a, I suppose, traditional princess for one of these romantasy type stories, under the thumb of the men in her life, trying to rebel, and she's rebelling by using forbidden magic that has been outlawed, and if she's caught using it, she will end up sort of being killed, put to death, in prison, all of the above. But she discovered when she was younger, when she was 10, it said, that she could use illusion magic. So she's been learning how to use illusion magic to project the perfect daughter for her father and her brother and all the courtiers. And in chapter 1, she feels like she's just been found out by our male protagonist, Nikolai. He seems to have seen through her illusion, and that's about as far as we got. My cat's attacking the stand again. She always seems to come in when I'm recording. So an interesting start, a promising start. I'm liking the writing style. It's very easy to read. I was able to read this during some of my lunchtime today, but we were obviously all catching up after having the 2 weeks off. So I'm going to try and read some tonight, just to try and immerse myself a bit more in the story, and then I'll be taking it to work with me again tomorrow, and I will catch up with you when I can. I'm up to chapter 17, about 40% through. Managed to read quite a bit during my lunch hours this week. We're now up to Wednesday, and I managed to read some yesterday evening and the evening before bed, so that was quite fun. I think I've already said what the story's about. So Emery is quite a precious princess. She's quite young, quite naive, but she has forbidden magic that she's not allowed to use. But she's been using her illusion magic to disguise her sort of expressions, what she's doing, who she's looking at. And Nikolai has managed to see through this illusion. Now, Nikolai is the son of a traitor who Emery's father killed. And so Nikolai obviously has a lot of anguish, hatred, bitterness towards Emery's family, possibly Emery, not sure yet. Now, he has manacles on his wrists, and they stop him from harming the king, harming Emery, and it also means that he has to do what she says, what they says. Excuse me, that's my cat. Hang on a second. I'm back. She's going to start squawking now. Just had to let her in. She doesn't like a closed door. So I am struggling a little bit though with Emery as a character. She comes across quite young, a bit naive at times. I'm not always convinced by her decisions. I'm not 100% sure how old she is. I mean, I think she must be at least 18, but she comes across a lot younger than that. There are moments where her emotions feel quite intense towards Nikolai, and they become quite intense quite quickly. And I think that I'm just not fully connecting with her yet, which is making it a little bit harder to get lost in the story. But I'm persevering. The relationship between her and Nikolai has been very fast moving, and I think I'm still struggling to figure out a bit of what's going on there as I'm reading it, and it has become very intense, very physical, very quickly. And I'm not sure if it's fully built up to that yet. I'm used to more of a slow burn, and this was very much insta-lust. But then she's lusting after Nikolai, and she's betrothed to, I think it's Alec, someone else from another kingdom. And so when she's with Nikolai, she's very infatuated with him, very obsessed with him, can't get enough of him. But then when she's with Alec, she's very obsessed with him, being the dutiful daughter, sort of showing her best self to him, and there's no internal dialogue about her feelings for Nikolai, which I find very strange. So you just don't really get to see how she's feeling truly about Nikolai or Alec, because whoever she's with, that's who she's focusing on, and she's not focusing on her mixed feelings for the other person. So about halfway through, I'm intrigued to see where it goes, because it is billed as a lovers to enemies book, and I was rereading the blurb, and I feel like the blurb has kind of spoilt it a little bit because I know where it's going. But I'm intrigued to see how we get there, and then hopefully see some of Emery's growth as a character, because she's certainly not some sort of shield maiden. She's not some warrior princess. She's more of a precious princess, someone who's very much looked after, protected by her father, by her brother, and that's how she acts. She's not coming across as a strong character at the moment, but I think that's just because I'm so used to reading other fantasy books where the female characters are very strong, and they do rebel a lot against the positions they're being put in, the things they're expected to do, how they're expected to behave, and yet Emery is behaving and doing exactly what she's expected to do by her father, by her brother, by her mother. And her only little bit of rebellion is this little bit of illusion magic, and the fact that she's sneaking out at night time to meet Nikolai in the tunnels so that they can then escape into the town to have a look around. And my cat's just squawking at me. There she is. This is who's always knocking and squawking in the background. This is Caramel. There we go. So, I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, so I think the idea is really interesting. I'm liking the storyline. It's just sometimes the execution is I'm a bit unsure about. That might not be quite for me, but I'm eager to read more. I'm eager to see where it goes. It's quite a quick read. It is quite an easy read. So I'm going to see if I can read some more this evening, and then some more tomorrow at lunchtime. And I'm hoping I'll have this finished in the next few days, and I will get back to you when I have my next update. Final catch up for my Of Love and Cruelty. I've got a bit chilly, so I had to put my jumper on. Well, I finished it, and yeah, my feelings still stand. I feel really bad because it's obviously an arc, and the author has obviously put a lot of effort into it, a lot of love into it, which is why I wanted to finish it. And I just think it wasn't a book for me. I really did not resonate with Emery. She just came across as very young and naive. And I thought of the word today when I was at work. She's very placid. She just seems to accept everything that happens to her, even towards the end when the most horrific things happened right in front of her. And she was just thinking, oh, okay. And then she just sort of carried on. And I didn't get that as a character. I think, like I said in my last post, I'm used to quite strong female characters that feel the rage, feel the internal pain, and she didn't really seem to feel much of anything. It was all just very blank and placid and going along with everything, even to the extent that, because it's a lovers to enemies, so her lover turned enemy, she was still obsessing over, still lusting after, even after he had done the most horrific things to her family. And she was just seemed to be accepting of it. And I got the rage. I got the rage for her, and I got the rage about her, because I just didn't understand why she wasn't doing anything, why she wasn't trying to fight back about what had happened to her, what had happened to her family, the situation that she had been put into. I just didn't get it. So it was an interesting premise, but I just think Emery wasn't a character for me. I would still recommend this book, give it a try, but it just wasn't one for me. So I'm hoping my next one will be. So this is my next arc that I've got, and it's also on my Kindle. It's this one here. The Love I Wished For. What if the love you dreamed of wasn't the one you needed? I can't remember too much about this one. So I think it's about our main character. I don't know what her name is, because it's on my Kindle, so I haven't got the blurb. She has everything she wants in her life. She has her marriage, she has her family, she has the nice house, but are things really as good as they seem from the outside on the inside? That's what I think it's about. So yeah, so what if your life, the dream you dreamed of, wasn't the one that you needed? So I'm intrigued to get this one started, and I will update you when I've read some. It's Friday evening. I've got my glasses on, so apologies for the glare. I'm going to wear contact lenses. My eyes are really sore. It's been quite a tiring week back at work, but I want to get some more reading done. So I managed to read the prologue last night. Apologies for the glare. And I read about half an hour at lunchtime today, so I'm about 11% in. Oh my goodness, I'm so anxious. I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it, but I am worried about what's going to happen next. I stopped at a crucial moment at work today because I had to get ready for the afternoon. So we've met Helena, and who we assume is her son Rufus and her partner Noah, but just in the first chapter, so it's not really a spoiler, we find out that Noah is her stepson, but she's not married to Noah, Rufus' husband. Noah's wife mysteriously passed away a few years ago in an accident, and Helena has been bringing Rufus up since he was 12 months old. They've recently moved to the countryside. Helena has chosen to give up work on Noah's advice to look after Rufus, so that kind of sent the alarm bells ringing. We find out she has to dress in a certain way, she has to wear neutral colours, she's not allowed to bake anymore, she's not allowed to make bread, she's not allowed to make cakes, she's only allowed to cook certain things. But she loves Noah. He's quite a dynamic sort of personality, and she loves that about him. She still fancies the pants off him. And I just left it at lunchtime. They'd gone to Rufus's parents' evening. She'd found an old lipstick in one of her bags and decided to wear it. And Noah is suddenly quite angry and standoffish with her, but still being very nice to everybody else. And that's where I kind of left it. So it did leave me feeling quite anxious, because I've got a sneaky suspicion I know where this is going to go, and I hate that for Helena, but I just want to see what happens. So I'm going to read some more this evening. I've just made myself a nice cup of coffee, well, decaf coffee, because I can't have caffeine after midday, otherwise I just never sleep. And I'm just going to sit and I'm going to read. I've got the whole evening. I'm trying to think, what time is it? It is 7:45 now. My son's just in bed, my daughter's upstairs getting ready. We're visiting a university tomorrow. I can't believe that she's going to be going off to university next year, so we've got all those joys of looking around. So we're going off to look around one tomorrow, which she's quite excited about. So I'm going to try and get some reading done this evening, because tomorrow is going to be a very busy day, travelling around and having a look at the university. So yes, back to this, and we'll see where we get to. Right, so it's 9 o'clock. I'm up to chapter 22. I'm not sure how well you can see that. So about 40% in. I'm really enjoying it. It obviously touches on some sensitive topics, so if you do plan to read it, then please just do check the trigger warnings. It hasn't quite gone where I thought it was going to go. Helena is quite a strong woman, very different to the last book I read in the beginning part of this vlog. It's my cat again, she was sitting next to me. She did fight back, not physically but verbally. She stood up for herself, and I was really rooting for her. I was like, right, yeah, you go. And no, it was being the typical bully, typical abuser, not accepting any responsibility, blaming everything on Helena and her pushing his buttons. And she was having none of it. She really did stand up to him. So I was really surprised, pleased, but surprised because it wasn't where I thought it was going to go. So now we're about 40% through, and Helena now finds herself abandoned, and she now has to start to put her life back together. So I'm intrigued to see where this now goes. I'm going to read a little bit more in bed. I'm quite tired now, so I'm going to go read in bed, and I'll catch up with you again in the morning. So I've just finished. Wow, that was such a brilliant book. I started off obviously quite anxious, thinking about what was going to happen, and there were some quite dramatic moments, but overall it was filled with hope, perseverance, resilience, love, not accepting the life that you might have thought you wanted, looking for something different, putting yourself out there. It really was a joy. I've not read anything by this author before, but I really did enjoy it. It's Georgie Capron. I couldn't remember if I told you who it was by. So it was The Love I Wished For by Georgie Capron. I'm really intrigued to see or to read some of her other books. And there's a little extract from her next book, Under the Amalfi Sun, at the end of this one. I haven't read it yet, but I'll be reading that just to see. So yes, absolutely love this book. It's due out, I think it's due out in a couple of weeks, actually, sort of in the middle of May. So I really highly recommend it. It's, yeah, like I said, check your trigger warnings, because there were some uncomfortable moments, and that they were uncomfortable to read. But overall, it was filled with such hope, such joy, friendship, family, found family, and it's a book, yeah, I would highly recommend. So to round this vlog up, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. Both books sounded really good on paper, both my sort of cup of tea, because I am a mixed genre. I read everything and anything. I just have to be in the right mood. I love Love and Cruelty. Wasn't really right for me. Not my cup of, well, in theory, it should have been my cup of tea, but I didn't really resonate with Emery. Wasn't my sort of character. She wasn't, I was expecting her to be stronger than she was. And then we have Helena in The Love I Wished For, who was a very strong character. She wasn't taking any messing. I've just realised I made a bit of a boo-boo. I was meant to start off with that, but I forgot because my memory's terrible. When I was talking about the son, Noah's son, I was calling him Rufus. And then when I carried on reading last night, I realised he wasn't called Rufus, he was called Raffi. So Noah's son, Helena's stepson, is Raffi, not Rufus. That just shows you where my brain was yesterday. It was very tired. I'd been first week back at work after the school holidays, and my memory is terrible. Hence I write lists and notes everywhere just to help my memory. Please tell me I'm not the only one. So yeah, a mixed bag. Enjoyed reading them. Highly recommend The Love I Wished For. And if you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps a new and upcoming YouTuber in the algorithm, which would be amazing. Have you got any book recommendations? What are you reading at the moment? Chat to me in the comments down below, and I will see you in whatever comes next.